Star Trek theme. It worked!
And could you tell us one of the funny stories from shooting Once More with Feeling?
Yeah, the thing is, we were terrified when we shot Once More with Feeling because we had absolutely no faith in Joss as a music writer whatsoever at all. Because he made the mistake of, instead of giving us the script for Once More with Feeling, he just dropped off a cassette tape at our trailers, and it was him and his wife Kai singing the music to the show and playing it on piano. And whereas they're both really intelligent, wonderful people, Joss, of course, is a genius, Kai is a genius as well, but they can't really sing, or couldn't at that time. Sorry for that. And Joss was not really a very good piano player. I wasn't a very good guitar player at this point either. But, so I go into my trailer and I put the cassette in the little, we used to have cassettes back in the old guy thing. And so put the cassette in and press play, and I'm just listening to stuff, and I don't know what to think about this. They told us that there would be music in the next episode, and it just sucked. And I go outside my trailer, and all the rest of the cast are coming out with this befuddled expression that I have on my face, and we just start talking to each other, and we're just like, Joss is insane. Like the pressure got to him, or his ego exploded, or I don't know what has happened to Joss, but he's gone crazy, and he's gonna flush all of us down the toilet with him in front of the world. Like, we got hired to be comedic, dramatic actors. That's what we do. But then you ask us to sing bad music in front of people, it's like juggling chainsaws. We're gonna get hurt, you know? So we all went to Joss and we tried to talk him out of it. We're like, dude, please, you know, I was like, I've got a kid, you know, this is... And he was like, nope, we're gonna do this. And so there was this point, and this is why it's my favorite episode. There was a point at which we realized that we weren't gonna get out of it, and we stopped whining about it, and we got to work. And then all of these, like, voice coaches and dance coaches just descended on the set. I forget what episode we were doing before we started the Once More with Feeling, but there was just suddenly there's all these other people on the set training us because we hired them on our own dime. Everyone just started finding vocal coaches for themselves, and we got to work. And then Joss cut the first scene that he filmed was the Xander dance and Emma Caulfield, and he rolls this little TV out to the set and he says, check this out, man. Presses play, and it rocks, and it's awesome. And so we went from the depths of despair to just thinking this is gonna actually work. To the point where the episode after the musical was Tabula Rasa.
Tabula Rasa.
Yeah, that one. And so easy to remember. And that, I think, was one of our best episodes. But because we were just coming off of the musical episode, we were like, this sucks. You know, like, where's the music? I want to dance. And we wanted to do another one. So yeah, that was an awesome experience.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm a jealous little bitch.
You're a Leo.
So I hated him, and it took me years to figure out that from the very beginning, David was great to me. He was always like, I know you're in the little tiny trailer this year, but just like me, they're gonna move you to the other trailers next year. Don't worry about it. He would give me advice, and he was fabulous, but I just hated him. And so I guess it was on Angel that I really got to kick his ass really nicely. What I'll say really about that scene, however, is that his knee was blown out for that whole fight. He went into knee surgery right after then, and he got completely fixed up. He runs all around now, he's fine. But at that point, he was really, I remember him telling the fight choreographer, no, I can't turn that way. My doctor says, if I turn that way, I'll never walk again. No. But he kept in there, and he did that fight. But I got to whoop up on him. I enjoyed doing my own stunts. When I came to television, I had my nose in the air. I was like, I'm from stage, and you don't get a stunt man on stage. So I tried to do as much as I could, to the point where after Angel I couldn't walk anymore. I literally I was bedridden, and I would crawl out of bed, open my door with my key, crawl to my little elevator down to the little parking lot, crawl into my car and drive like a 100-year-old man to Santa Monica, go to the chiropractor, and crawl across the street hoping the SUVs could see me and not run me over. And after about 6 months, they got me back, and I'm doing stunts again, and I'm fine now, but any actors out there? Let the stunt crew do their work. They're better at it anyway. You'll look fine. Because the thing was, what I do now is I tell the stunt crew,
Black belt? Green belt? Bullshit.
because if you're in close, I look like I'm pounding, like, because acting is my thing. I can look like I'm really meaning it, like a stuntman can't do. If you're shooting me from here up, all of this meat and potato stuff is great. I'm pretty good. It's like I'm a green belt in judo, so all that's pretty good. But if you're asking me to do double kick combinations and all that stuff, flipping around and stuff, if my feet leave the floor, I start wrenching my back because my footwork is not so great. So for years, I would be doing all this stuff, and my footwork, I wouldn't be really squared off, and it would just wrench the back. And so I ended up kind of taking it. Wire work hurts. It hurts bad. There's chafing involved. But it's really fun. It's really fun for the first 3 minutes. And then he's like, get me the hell off this wire. My funniest story about wire work is not on Angel, but on Dragon Ball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, baby. It's the only thing that my son cared about. It's the only role that he cared about. He's like, you're doing Piccolo! But I remember realizing that I wasn't going to get a stuntman for that when they called me out of my trailer, and I had technically a stuntman for that, but they didn't want to make him up like me because that took 4 hours. It was a lot of money, so they just had a pullover mask for him, and it didn't really look like the same character. So Danny's up there in full costume but no makeup, and he's up on about a 30-foot cliff, and the gag is that he gets sucked off the cliff by a magical mafuba thing. And the thing is, in the movie, Piccolo gets sucked into a little clay pot. So the gag at that point is, you're on a wire, and you just have to look like you're getting sucked off the cliff, lay out off the cliff, and just start a rotation. And you just have to kind of make a quarter rotation, and then the next shot will be a different wire gag where you're going fast down, and then et cetera, et cetera. So it's a little bit dicey. You have to get out horizontal and somehow get your body twisting without going too far out, because then you'll slam back into the cliff.
It sounds dangerous.
Oh, it was incredibly dangerous.
Oh my God.
So Danny, who is like one of the best stuntmen in Hollywood, they say, go, Danny. And I'm thinking that I'm just watching him for moral support, right? Danny does it, and he oversells it. And he slams back into the cliff, and then just cheese grates against the cliff for about 10, 15 feet, right? And they lower him down, and Danny's kind of twitching like that. He's laughing, but he's kind of like hurt. And not in a hospital way, but in a football, so kind of hurt. And they lower him to the ground, and they're taking him off. And the director turns back to me and goes, are you ready? And thank God my fiance was with me, because I was like, well, I'll show off for her, for Patricia, okay? And I did it, and it went fine, and I was all right. But yeah, when you're on a wire, that's especially true. You pay attention to the stunt crew and do exactly what they tell you. Well, at the end of that, Jojo, who was the stunt coordinator for Dragon Ball, I caught him on the walkie-talkie walking past me, and he literally said, well, we got away with that one.
Thank you, James.
question for you. Yeah. If approached, would you do a reality TV show? Or at least a spin-off of The Wedding Band as Declan Horn? Because that rocked. You rocked, dude.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Declan Horn was a character I played on a new show called Wedding Band, which is a good show. It's about a band that thought it would make it big and wrote all its own songs, and then didn't make it big, and now they're doing weddings and stuff and playing covers, and they have to deal with that. And I got to play an aging British rock star, which was fabulous, because I decided that the guy had no problems in the world and knew it.
And are the rumors of you and the dog true? No, just kidding. I'm just kidding. I heard that you did some just ad-libs with the dog. That was just precious.
Oh yeah, we did a lot of ad-libs in that.
That was...
Yeah, no, what made it on the camera was my ad-lib. He looks like a diseased Wookiee. Well, there are these characters that were planning a Sweet 16 for their kid, but they loved their dog more than they loved their kid. And so the poor girl, and like I caught up on that, so I started picking on the dog. And in the episode, I steal the dog, take him to an orgy. Good script. Yeah, I would definitely go back on Wedding Band, and I would definitely work with those people again. That was an awesome time.
But what about a reality show?
Man, that's a hard question, reality show. See, I'm a dramatic actor. I'm like a one-camera dramatic actor, and like reality shows are putting us out of business because they're so cheap. So it's like, would I join the devil?
You don't want to be Honey Boo Boo?
What?
I said you don't want to be Honey Boo Boo?
Yeah, man, those reality stars, they get so much respect, don't they? I don't know, it would have to be the right reality show. If it was a reality show about Ghost the Robot, my band, we'd probably do that, yeah. But we have kind of an ongoing reality show on gotrmusic.com. Stop by my table, I'll give you a card, I'll give you all the links to our stuff. Charlie and Sullivan and I were just in San Francisco rehearsing for a show in Portland we're doing, and I did like as if I was a reporter, finding the band and finding out what room they were, and like trying to get into their room and stuff. So, because Sullivan was hiding under the bed because it was apparent that I was a reporter coming in, busting into their room. So that was the gag. By the way, I didn't tell them that I was doing that. That was totally, off the cuff. Yeah. Anybody? Oh, who's brave? Yeah, is that time? Go. Sorry. Thank you. You guys were fabulous.
Come on, let's hear it for James, everybody. Thank you, James Marsters.